Hey guys, welcome back to Geek Power Toy Reviews, and in today's video we will be taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars set 75292, the Razor Crest, from the Disney Plus series Star Wars The Mandalorian. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. First of all, let's take a look at the packaging. So right from the top we can see the LEGO Star Wars logo at the top left hand corner, and behind that is all the white brick built greebling. In the top right hand corner we've got a Legoification of the Mandalorian minifigure. Here it tells us that the set is for 10 years and up, the set number 75292, and the name the Razor Crest. And then down at the bottom we have the Disney logo and the Mandalorian logo, and just in this corner it tells us the 5 minifigures that are included in the set. And then here we have a large scale image of the set included. On the back of the packaging we have a continuation of the LEGO Star Wars logo, an advertisement for the video game, and then a bunch of images displaying the play features, the storage solutions, the opening panels on the set, and all the other little details included. And we also have a display of all 5 minifigures interacting with the set in different ways. With the packaging out of the way, now we can get straight into the minifigures included. First off, we have the title character, the Mandalorian, or as we also know him as Din Djarin, played by Pedro Pascal in The Mandalorian. And this depiction of the Mandalorian is a Season 1 version before he got all his brand new shiny Beskar armor. So we see he's got some burnt orange chestplate armor detail, some brown knee pads in Beskar, and a dark tan one. It looks like underneath he's got a light tan undershirt, and then we have the bandolier across the torso connected to the belt along the bottom. It looks like his legs are a dark bluish grey under trouser, and then the helmet is done in a gunmetal grey or dark medium silver. And then we have the small printed detail of the Mandalorian's visor. On the back of the minifigure we have Mando's cape, done in the rigid cape design, almost papery. And underneath that we see a continuation of the burnt orange armor, the light tan undershirt, the other side of the bandolier connected to the back side of the belt. The arms are moulded in a dark reddish brown plastic, and the gloves are in a dark bluish grey to signify his gloves that he was wearing. His accessory, or his main accessory, is his shotgun with the modified end, harping back to the original Star Wars Holiday Special. And then under the helmet we have a plain black minifigure head, because for the most part for Season 1 we didn't get to see Din Djarin's face. And that's about it for the Mandalorian minifigure. Next up is of course one of LEGO's most highly anticipated minifigures of recent memory, and that is of the child, or as we now know him to be, Grogu. And we see his little Yoda shaped head that can turn left to right, it is articulated, and that's molded in the matte spring green, I guess we could call it. And there's a little bit of rubbery texture to the ears so they don't snap off. He has two lots of printing on the face, showing the black of the eyes and the white pupils, and the fully detailed mold shows all the wrinkles and markings on his head. And then when we get into the torso, there's a tiny bit of printing to show the clothes that Grogu wears. And then we have a little bit of that same green colour paint to signify Grogu's hands. And as you can see, Grogu sits on a single Lego stud. Our next minifigure is the character of Grievous Cargo, played by Carl Weathers. This time he is dual wielding two short blaster pistols. He's got the short black hair headpiece, and he has two facial expressions. So in this one, he's quite stern and a little bit angry. And then on the other side, he's got a grin. Maybe that he's happy that a deal has gone through or whatever it might be. Returning to the front of the minifigure, on the torso, we see all the fine detailing used on the torso to show his clothes and the strap connected to his shoulder cape. And then we have the gold on the belt buckle, and just showing you there, that really displays all the finer details printed onto the minifigure. And then when we get into the hip piece and legs, there's zero printing, and they're molded in a deep red or practically a maroon colour. The arms are molded in a medium to dark nougat colour. And then on the back of the minifigure's torso, we see a continuation of that shoulder cape and the strap in the corner. And in the top left hand corner, we have a continuation of that finer detailing. And that's everything with our Grievous Cargo minifigure. Next up is the Scout Trooper minifigure. And right from the top, we see the dual molding used in the visor and the two black sections here and here. We've got a couple painted details in the top, just under the visor, into the breathing apparatus, and then on both sides of the helmet here and here. On the back we have black detailing here, and then the grey ventilation detailing on the back. When we when we remove the helmet of the minifigure, we see it's no longer Angry Clone, thankfully. It is, however, the common minifigure head used in a lot of the Marvel and DC superhero sets. It's been used for Lex Luthor, Loki, you name it, they've used it for that character. and there's no back printing on the head. It's all just molded in a light tan colour. When we look into the torso, we see all the painted details. Firstly, the black sections signify the black undershirt. Then the white detailing shows the chest armour, the abdominal armour, and then on the left and right we have the pouches that the biker scout would use to carry his ammunition or thermal detonators. And then we can just about tell in the hip piece the straps that connect to the hip hip pouches, and then the black detailing in the legs show us the under trousers basically. Then here we have detailing for the groin armor piece, and here in white is the knee armor piece. And then the rest of the legs are to signify the white boots that the biker scout wears. The arms are molded in black and to signify the rest of the black undershirt, and then the hands are molded in black to signify the biker gloves. And then this biker scout comes with a single blaster, much like with Grievous Cargo, but the biker scout only comes with one. On the back of the minifigure, we have a continuation of the black undershirt detailing, and then in the white, the back armor printing, a continuation of the belt piece, which I think we just about covered here on the the lower torso. And then there's no back printing on the legs or any side printing on the arms and legs. And our last minifigure included in the set is IG11, a standard looking assassin droid with a different build for the head. Of course, in the series, he's voiced by Taika Waititi, and it's primarily molded in a dark bluish grey plastic. I love the printing on the cylinder piece attached upside down for the eyes and the red flashing lights. And as you can see, he's quite well armoured. He's got a standard blaster in his right hand, and then on his back he's got the larger blaster rifle piece in black, and the droid minifigures have a lot of the same articulation, except the legs are fused together and there's no rotation on the hands. And then on the back of the minifigure there's no printing, just a connection point to holster the blaster rifle. So with that all being said for all the minifigures, now let's take a closer look at the main set in question, The Mandalorian's Razor Quest. And here it is, the Razor Quest. And before we get a further in-depth look, I'll just give you a general overview of the set. So you see you've got the two large engine ports here and here, the intakes and then the exhaust. We've got the large printed canopy piece and the two cannons either side of the cockpit. And then as we go around to the back, we've got the rear exit ramp, and then on the sides we've got the two main entrances here and here. So first off, let's start with the cockpit. It's nice and simple. All you have to do is lift the canopy right off. It's nice and simple. It's all connected by these two clip pieces going into these two sockets here and here. And then as you can see on the inside, there's two red seats, one for the pilot and one for the passenger. On the inside, you've got your control panel. There's sadly no yoke system or any type of simulated steering system, but that's okay. And then if you hinge this section forward, you've got weapon storage just back here. So if we take our Mandalorian minifigure and we take its blaster, all we have to do is pop the lightsaber hilt section in there like so. Rotate that down a bit. Then we can hinge that back down, and then what I like to do is, after I've hinged the Mandalorian's legs up into a seated position, I pop Grou on his right hand so that when they're sat in the cockpit and the the windshield piece, canopy piece even, is on top, you can see the two of them inside the cockpit as they're flying through the galaxy. And then while we're on the top part of the fuselage, I'll take you into this section here. Right here is the escape pod. So it's best to grab it in the center section here. Then you can lift it out. And it's nice and simple. Well, it was anyway. Yep, there we go. All we have to do is lift that top section off. And then you can pop your minifigure inside. So we'll put Grievous Cargo in there. Then all you have to do is pop the canopy back on like that. And then your minifigure in the cockpit of the escape pod can fly off in the case of an emergency or the Razor Crest is breaking down. They can then escape and get to safety. And it's nice and simple, it just slots back in, just like so. Next up is the play feature of the spring-loaded missile. So just down here we see the missile head that goes right through the body, and then when we press down on this section here, it will fire off. So if I just press down here, you see it fires the spring-loaded missile right out. And then you just reload like this, and it's all okay. With the top part of the fuselage now fully covered, we can now take a closer look inside the Razor Crest. And to do that, there's so many opening hatches, it's kind of crazy really. So first of all, like I showed you, at the back, it ratchets down like so for the rear ramp. and then the side sections hinge down like so. And here I can show you our Carbonite storage system. So these two blocks here and here are two bounties of the Mandalorian frozen in Carbonite. So the first one here, I can't remember the name of him, but he's definitely one of the Mandalorian's bounties. There's no printing on the top of the tile, and this main section, it's all a stickered detail, but I love all the little details, like the red, what can only seem to be a pulse recorder, and the two buttons here, and then all that nice silver detailing on the sticker showing the bounty. And then the second one will probably be a bit more familiar to you. Here's the first bounty we see him collect in the first episode. And once again, there's nice sticker detailing all throughout this piece of the bounty, of the Carbonite, the red detailing here, and the two red buttons there. And as we're continuing along, just to give you an idea of what it looks like, this is the main door. And when you raise that section up, you see what it looks like in universe. And then lastly, over here is the Mandalorian's sleeping quarters. And if I remove the Mandalorian from his cockpit and put him in a horizontal position, we can then fit him inside the bed. Like so. And now the Mandalorian can sleep between missions. And I love all that sticker detail in the background, showing the padded sections and the more industrial side of the ship. And then when we close all these sections up and rotate it round, it's a similar story. The large back section folds down like so. And the door section. And then this time on this section, when you rotate it down, it gives you storage for an extra spring-loaded missile. And yeah, that's about it. A lot of the interior space is nice and empty, which is perfect if you want to carry a speeder bike or any type of cargo. So yeah, I think it really helps widen the playability of the set instead of jam-packing it full of intricate little details and stuff like that. Just having a nice big open space in the main section of the ship really allows you to stretch your imagination and what you want to do with the ship outside of recreating Mandalorian episodes, you know? So with all that being said and all the panels closed back up, let's put an end to the close-up of this video and I'll move straight into my final thoughts. So overall, my final thoughts on the set are, I think it's pretty good. I love all the sticker detailings showing the dark tan sections. Of course, in the show it's more of an orange. But at the end of the day, this is very much a play scale Razor Crest. Definitely not a UCS one. But I think as far as play scale versions of larger ships in the Star Wars universe, they've done a really good job. I think, like I said, the open section in the center really does open up different play possibilities, whether it's rescuing large groups of Wookiees from the spice mines of Castle, or transporting crates of Meiluran fruit to Harrison Dulla on the Ghost. Just something as simple as that really helps encourage the imagination of the child or the bigger child playing with the set. And just the overall profile, they've really captured the shape and size. Sure, the proportions might not be perfect, but at the end of the day, this is a toy and it's a pretty good one overall. The details that they did include, like the bed on the inside, I think are great. It really helps add to that almost realism of the set, that someone could live on the Razor Crest in deep space or whatever. And then underneath, I don't think I mentioned it, but the landing skids on the front and back are great. I think they're really nice, really sturdy. They really do their job of holding the set up when it's on the table. And if there was anything I'd like them to improve on, would maybe be, I'd have to say the minifigure selection. I mean, as much as I love getting another biker scout, you can never have too many biker scouts or stormtroopers or snowtroopers, whatever it might be. I think if they had swapped the biker scout out for the Mandalorian's friend who teaches him how to ride those beasts on that planet, would have been really good. I mean, I know we get him in the UCS version and stuff like that, but a nice, easy way to get that character would have been good. The first official version of Grogu is great. It's a fantastic scale. It might not be anatomically correct, but it's a Legoification of a really popular character, and I think they did a good job about it, really. Other than that, I'm really happy with what Lego's done here. From start to finish, it was a really fun build. I never felt bored when building it, which is always good. And I hope this review encourages you to get the set if you don't have it already. And until next time, I hope you had a geektacular time. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because every like and every subscription really does help the channel grow, and that means the sooner we can make this channel even better together. Until then, I'm going to jump into hyperspace and play with my Razor Crest Lego set. See you soon.